Welcome back, Roasties. It is round 22. Let It Ride is about to kick off, and I have across to my right, to my left, whichever way you're looking, my weak-gutted friend, handsome Hammy G. How are you, my friend?
That's a weak-gutted dog, thank you. If you're going to, besmirch me, please do it correctly.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's all good, mate. It'll be just a $25,000 fine, and you'll miss next week. But good to be with you. I was a little bit still a little bit croaky, to be honest. But listening back to some of the clips from that show last week, I apologise, and I hope those listening didn't catch anything through the airwaves, because I was sounding pretty rough last week. But my tips were all right, so it wasn't all bad last week. But a little bit better today. I will say, if I feel the need to go and blow my nose, I'm just going to have to pause it. I'll just mute myself and go do it this week, Roasty, because there was a bit doing last week.
Listening to you, like when we were talking, I didn't pick up on it, but then listening back, it was like, holy shit, you were croaked up. It was pretty bad, but we soldier on, and
we do.
You provided the goods last week, so
good thing I did soldier on. Yeah,
it's a we'll take the good with the bad. Now, go on last week. You just went through some of your tips, because me, I had an absolute shocker last week. I don't even talk about it. We had a good Thursday night. We picked a couple of winners to get us through and start the week off well, but it went downhill for me after that. But how about you?
Yeah, look, first couple of days of the weekend pretty good. So Corey Oates, excuse me, Roasty. I said that when starting as underdog, when the Broncos have started underdog in their last 4 games, OT scored a double, and he scored a double, paying $6. So that's a nice way to kick off the weekend. I had the line in the Storm game was 16.5. I think they won by 18 points. So thank you very much. I took the Eels head to head. I took Sevo anytime try score. He scored within about 2 minutes. I had the Rabbitohs to cover the line, 17.5, which happened. I also had Edward Cossey to get a consolation try for the Warriors at $2.55. That happened as well. I was no good in the Raiders game. I thought they'd upset the Panthers. That didn't happen. The Sharkies, I had them to win. And I think that might be just about it. I didn't finish too well on the Sunday. Obviously, the Tigers lost, and the Bulldogs got beaten by a bit more than I thought they would.
I thought, watching that Bulldogs game, they went up 10-0. They were leading 14-10 at one stage with, a quarter to go. I thought, oh, man, I've made a mistake here by not taking them, because I said, I felt like they could win. But then when I found out the game was up in Bundy, I was like, nah, that's tipped me towards the Cowboys. But, they played well. And, hopefully they can back it up again this week. But I was saying I kicked it off with Angus Crichton on that Thursday night game. He had a good try at $4.60, but for me after that I had picked a couple of lines, but try scorer is absolutely hopeless. So I will make it up to you guys this week. But bit of news items. You kicked it off with Ricky Stewart, 1 week ban and a $25,000 fine, which I think most probably agree that's a bit light, but
bit light.
I thought it was a bit light.
What would you give him?
I probably would have looked at suspension for the rest of the year, because that was talked about. Yeah, for me, it's I back him in if he's got family history, and that's we don't like a lot of stuff that we don't know about. If he wants to say it, that's fine, but he's got a position of power. He's been in the game for 30 years, and as a coach for 20 of those, he's using a platform which is not that platform to speak about a personal issue. He didn't mention what happens on the field. You just need to talk about that, and there was heaps of other niggly shit that happens all the time. So I think he's probably abused his power a little bit. But in saying that, if all the stories are correct in what we hear about has happened in the past, I sort of agree with him wanting to go off, but at the same time, you can't use that position of power to do it. So I would have thought it was a little bit harsh on a kid coming. He's only played 40 games or something, so I thought it was a little bit harsh. But I thought the penalty was a little bit light. But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, fair, very good.
Question of the week, Hammy, before we kick off the games. I posted this up in the story yesterday and on Twitter as well, and I had mixed responses, so I want to throw it to you. Now, Matt Burton's got the biggest bomb in the game. We know that. When it goes up, they need NASA to track it. So if you were given the choice between taking $5,000 right now and just walking away, or you have to catch a bomb, he puts up a bomb and you get one chance to catch a bomb from him for $50,000, what are you going to take?
Well, is this like in a match, or is this just down at the Oval, he puts a bomb up?
I think I've just got to... Just to make it reasonable, down at the Oval, you've just got to stand there and catch it. Well, not stand there. He puts it up. You'll have to move to position yourself.
You get it.
There's no pressure of anyone running through or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you only get one chance, one shot.
You just get one. Yeah. I'll have a punt on catching the bomb at $50,000, I reckon. I think it's a big carrot. I mean, you're leaving a lot on the table just walking away, aren't you? There's a lot of what ifs.
100%.
You know, life's for living. Get out there and have a crack at it, I reckon. I voted on that poll and I said I'd have a crack at the bomb.
Yeah.
Where did you sit?
So Twitter was pretty much 2/3 would take the $5,000 and run. Instagram was
cowards.
Instagram was the exact opposite. About 2/3 wanted to have the chance at $50,000. For me, as a punter, I would take the chance of $50,000 because I don't. Yeah. But basically, you've got 10-1 odds. You're betting that $5,000 to make 50. Yeah, and I would. What other time would you have a chance to do that? So I'm thinking I'd take that shot. I would try and catch it. I'd probably be hopeless and pull a hammy or something while I was running, but I'd still
when you say pull a hammy, do you mean into your hamstring or do what I would do and drop it in front of thousands of watching people? Is that it?
Actually, yeah. That works on both ends, doesn't it? Your crowd.
Although I'd like to think that we rewrote the definition when I went back and caught one the following year. So
you did. That was pretty spectacular.
Maybe that's what you mean by pulling a hammy.
But I would take the punt. So I actually saw a really good comment on Instagram. It was I'd take the $5,000 and then put it on Burton and Fox to score this weekend, which I think is a really good bet. So I don't think you get 10-1 odds, but it's a decent bet. So I love that comment from someone.
Yeah, responsibly, of course.
100%. But mate, let's roll into the games. You weak gutted dog.
All right.
Up first. Kicking off the action this weekend on Thursday night is the spoken of weak gutted dogs versus the Mexicans from down south. Yep. It's Panthers v Storm, a top 4 clash. Great way to kick off round 22. Panthers minus 4.5, and the overs is 40.5. Now, are the Storm back? It's debatable. They still got the win last week. It was against the Titans. Munster at fullback, he was spectacular. It was a great show.
It was good.
He moves back to 6 this week with Meany coming back in the side. No Jerome Hughes, which is a massive loss for the Storm. Nofa, he let us down last week. I thought he'd get a try. I actually thought he'd get 2, which I got ribbed in the comments about. But Panthers missing James Fisher-Harris due to suspension as well. Panthers coming off that great win against the Raiders, where we both thought the Raiders would probably get the win, but Panthers too strong. Now, Panthers with their worst head-to-head record against any active club here against the Storm, they've won just 30%, 12 wins from 40 games. However, they have won 4 from the last 6, including their last 2. Now, like we said, this is going to be a cracker on Thursday night to kick us off. Hammy, how do you think it plays out?
Well, I just wanted to, these are 2 very good sides. Yes, they're missing some players, but no Cleary, no Luai for the Panthers. For me, that's bigger possibly than some of the other outs. Although, Hughes is a big loss, but Munster really impressed me last week. Yes, he played at fullback, but just the fact that he's back, big in as far as I'm concerned. And I just wondered whether at the value, Storm 1-12 at $3.80 might be. That's what my gut was saying to me, Roasty.
Yep.
Storm in a tight one. Should be a good tight game. Top 4 teams, a couple of players missing, but still got enough ingredients there for it to be a good close game. So Storm 1-12. And then Dylan Edwards, he scored in 4 of his last 5 out there at Penrith Stadium. So $2.90 you're getting for him to score at any stage. I didn't mind that one as well against the Tide. Obviously, when you whack that in with your same game multi, if you bet, throw the other team in there to win, it can spice it up a bit for you. So that was my thoughts.
Yeah, nice. He scored last week too, so started to find a bit of form. He was a standout last week. He just got hammered from pillar to post, old Dylan Edwards, but came out the winner. I think I'm going to go opposite you, Hammy. I think Panthers get the win here. I'm going to take a minus 4.5. I think it's a little bit easy. For me, Marion Sevi, he's conceded 12 tries down that right edge this year in his 11 games, the most of any Storm player. So last week, all three of the Titans' tries were scored down that edge. Missing Kafusi as well. Panthers have these two guys called Isaac Tungo and Taylor May down there, 26 tries between them. Kikau, he could play. He's listed as a reserve. I don't think he will, but keep an eye on the late changes. Panthers minus 4.5 for me. May and Tungo gets me 5.25 if I roll all that in. So I think that's my way. I'm going to start it this week. Go head to head against you, Hammy.
Goodness me, Roasty. You got a few things that happen there for your 5.25. Good luck, but I reckon the Storm get the chockies there. But looking for that is a cracking Thursday game. That's a great way to start the weekend. Yeah,
100%. And hopefully we get some results our way. Start the week off well like we did last week and continue it on. But rolling into Friday, 6 p.m. Warriors over in New Zealand taking on the Bulldogs. Doggies for maybe the first time in a long time are minus 4.5 favourites here. Overs 44.5. Great scenes yesterday. I don't know if you saw the page, Hammy. There was a video came across my desk, which was these Bulldogs fans over in New Zealand. They heard about the Bulldogs at this coffee shop, went in to say good day to them, and they were just over the moon that they got to see these guys. Possibly haven't seen them for 3 years due to the lockdown and everything like that. So hunted them down, found the coffee shop they were at, went in, gave them all hugs, then sat down, had a coffee with them. It was great scenes. But
that's nice.
It was great to see the Dogs. They actually headed over there yesterday or maybe Monday afternoon. Get a week out there, embrace the fans in New Zealand. Spend a bit of time there. I was watching the game against Cowboys, like I said, thinking, geez, I've stuffed up here by taking the Cowboys and not sticking with the Bulldogs, which I first thought. 10-0 up, then 14-10 after 60-odd minutes. Cowboys come back to win it, but I thought it was a decent showing by the Doggies. Need to note the Warriors, they've won their last 3 games against the Bulldogs, 5 from their last 7 as well. So great recent record against them. Andrew Voss said on SEN, if the Warriors turn up like they did in the first half the other day, then it's pointless turning up for their last 4 matches. Now, is that a pretty fair assessment on the Warriors, Hammy? They have been terrible.
They have been pretty bad, but I don't know. They did knock off another bottom 4 team in New Zealand recently. So my head did say the Dogs for this game. But then I thought, it's in New Zealand. I feel like they weren't as they didn't get as punished as I thought they would last week by the Storm. So look, I just wondered whether, and it is early in the round to push this button, but I wondered whether the try bet, either team by less than 6.5 could be a go in this 6 p.m. game. $2.85 you're getting there. The try scorers I liked were Burton anytime.
Yep.
It's the classic running 6 against a rubbish team. Theorem coming into play there. $2.65 for him. And then Kosi, 3 games in a row he scored. So $1.96 for him as well. Those were my try scorers. Think it could be close. And actually, low-key, looking forward to it, even though they're 2 low teams on the ladder, I think it could be close. I was going to keep going. I'm just going to blow my nose.
Yeah, look, I think, both these teams could actually put on some points. Like the overs are 44.5. So, I think that could be a play as well. I think there could be a lot of points here. The last 10 games, Burton has been involved in 15 of the Bulldogs' tries. Josh Adokar has been the same. He's been involved in 15. Burton scored 5 and assisted in 10, while the Fox, he scored 10 and assisted in 5. It really is the Burton and Fox show for the Bulldogs, and I'm going to stick with them. I think Doggies get the win here, -4.5. Fox and Burton to score. It is low. It only $5 even for those three things to happen, but I just think the way they've been trending, I think they get the win and these two guys to score. But yeah, that's. I don't know if you heard all that while you're away.
Yeah,
Hammy.
I did.
Yeah,
I did, mate. I had it in the headphones, and I can't fault you thinking there. Those two guys are on fire, and I think when they come up against some of those teams that are struggling a bit more, bit of a license for those blokes to have a bit of a party. So actually don't mind you thinking there.
Yeah, I think they've both been in some form, and they come up against a rubbish team basically, and like you said, both in the bottom four. I think there could be a lot of points here. So. Keep an eye on that one, punters. But the second Friday night game sees us head to Combank Stadium for the Eels v Rabbitohs clash. Game of the week material here again. Both teams in some form. Both last start winners. Eels over rivals, the Manly Seagulls, and Rabbits with a big win over the Warriors. Para underdogs here. Rabbits -3.5. Overs 45.5. Para on a 5-game losing streak against the Rabbits. They've only won one in their last 8. And the last 5 games between these two, Souths have scored 30+ in each game. So it's all trending towards the Rabbits here. Last 12 games between these two have averaged 47 points as well. The overs set at 45.5. Rabbits firing, and this could be a high-scoring one, Hammy. What do you like here?
Well, yeah, some pretty damning stats there for the Eels. I wasn't aware of all that stuff you were saying there when these two teams play each other. But I actually thought the Eels might be a little bit of value here to win this game at about the $2, what are they, $2.30 or thereabouts.
Yep.
I thought I liked what I saw last week. No Moses, but they still got the job done against Manly, played pretty well. It should be a very, very good game, but I just had a feeling about the Eels, weirdly.
I call it like a para dilemma that when they're underdogs, I feel like you almost, in a close match, I think you take them. They're at home, just because they haven't got that pressure of winning. And when they come up against the top team, they seem to win. When they come up against the bottom team, they seem to struggle. So, the para dilemma. Yeah.
And it came off for you a couple of weeks ago when they played Penrith as well, I believe.
Yes.
Now, two wingers here that could find their way into the Zinger Box multi, to be honest. Johnson and Sevo. Sevo, we know he loves playing at Combank. Johnson just keeps scoring. They're pretty short, but could be good ones to throw in your same gamer. The Bunnies halfback, Ilias, $34 first try scorer. He scored the first try in his last 2 games when the Bunnies have started favourites. So is that worth a little Stewie diver, Roasty? I think it might be.
Yeah, $34. Why not?
Yeah.
I think I look at like I said the para dilemma, and with Moses out for the next few weeks, they've got the Bulldogs next week, which should probably be a game they'll be favourites in, but then they face the Broncos away and the Storm as well. Storm at home, like they play at home, Para play at home. So I think those 2 games, the Broncos and the Storm one, they'll be underdogs, and I think you're going to find some value with Para over the next few weeks. So. And I think that's almost like the perfect preparation for them. They come in as underdogs, games they're not expected to win. They'll pull out some wins, come into the finals firing a little bit. And I think, like I said, I think it's a perfect run. I'm going to take them head-to-head here as well. I think it's 235. I think they caused the upset. Don't get me wrong, like the Rabbits, have been firing, but I just, I said that Eels taking this one. Like we said, Sevo at Combank, I think it's 33 tries in 32 games, something remarkable. AJ's been scoring at will, like you said. Not going to ignore both of them here, but Gutho is my pick here, and he's got I'm going to bring this in, the nice stat of the week. He's currently on 69 tries. So we love that. Yeah, we do. 8 tries in his last 11 games against South as well. 5 in his last 4. He's $2.40 for 1. But I'm gonna go all out. I think he gets $9 at Combank. He's scored in 6 of his last 7 games this year. 4 try assists in his last 2 games. He's getting his hand on the ball a lot more. He was averaging about 30, 35 touches a game before the Panthers one, where he touched it 67 times, and 33 last week. But so he's getting his hands on the ball a lot more. So I think we could see him cross for 1. Possibly 2. So $2.40 for 1. $9 for 2. I'm jumping on the $9 for 2, and Para to cause the upset here. Get on the king.
Love it. Well, we're aligned there, Roasty. Looking forward to it.
For once. No. But kicking off Super Saturday, another cracker. Nice relaxing day after the kids' sport. Jump into this one. A clash with massive both top 4 and top 8 implications. Roosters in 8th, Cowboys in 2nd. Roosters minus 3.5 favourites here. Both coming in, same teams from last week, and they both came out victorious. Roosters with a 34-16 victory over the Broncos, and the Cowboys beat the Dogs 28-14. Now, I think even though the Cowboys are second, they've had a few easier games coming into this. Bulldogs, Dragons, Tigers, while the Roosters, came up against the Broncos last week. And Manly, they did have 7 players out, but, Manly were in the top 8 still fighting. I think they're better placed here. The Roosters, mate. Saturday game at the SCG.
Yes.
4 straight wins for the Roosters over the Cowboys. 10 from their last 14 for the Roosters. Minus 3.5 is looking good for me. How about you, Hammy?
Yeah, I don't mind that as well, taking them to cover that. I think they're hitting their straps and they've got to keep winning. That they're a little bit coming for a little bit behind the 8 ball. They're outside the 8 a couple of weeks ago. They've got a very good record as well at the SCG in recent times. And you've got that factor of the round oval field. You can sort of lose your bearings a bit out there in the middle of it. And it sounds stupid, but I feel like that is actually a bit of a factor with some of these teams that very rarely play on round field. So I like the Roosters to win this. It's supposed to be very wet in Sydney across the weekend. I know because I'm heading up there, which fantastic I think there's just 80% thunderbolt just about every day of the weekend that I'm up there. So that'll be awesome. But what I do think with that is we're going to see a couple of big boys crash and bash up the middle a little bit. Maybe I'm looking at some try scorers here that aren't wingers in this game.
Yep.
And I've actually gone to your man, Angus Crichton, off the back of last week. When you're hot, you're hot. $4.20 you're getting for him to score one here. The other bloke I liked at the price was Momirovski at $3.45. So I thought there was a bit of value in those blokes. And, I think the Roosters get the win here as well.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Roosters minus 3.5. Joey Manu has a great record against the Cowboys. Scored 3 in his last 2, as does Tupou with 8 in his last 13. I liked your thought actually on the oval there, especially from a team like the Cowboys, who that new stadium where it's really really close to the action. That rectangle stadium, everything's really close to come in and then go, holy shit, you've got this, so much extra space. It probably, for them,
where are we?
Yeah, them in particular, it's probably a little bit, altering. So great thought there. I'm going to stick with Crichton as well. Like you said, when you're hot, you're hot. He got the job for me last week, and I'm going to stick with him. He served me well. $4.20. I'm going to ride with him again. And Roosters minus 3.5.
Yeah,
take that.
Like it. We're aligned.
Continuing on for Super Saturday, since you're going to be in Sydney on Saturday, you're heading to the Tigers v Sharks, mate.
Well, this, I believe, is this at Tamworth or somewhere that's not Sydney?
Actually, yeah, it is.
Because I would have potentially gone to this, but maybe it's a blessing that it's not in Sydney and I won't be able to go. But they were terrible.
Scully Park in Tamworth, that's it.
Yeah, they were. I mean, the Tigers were back to their uninspiring worst last week. I think they've really missed Hastings, probably. Was a big factor of that. They haven't beaten the Sharks since 2019. I can't see them winning this one. So I think the Sharks, head-to-head is the play here. The line, I'll have to quickly double-check what that was.
Minus 12.5 it was for this one with the Sharkies.
Yeah, so I reckon they'll be getting close there, the Sharkies, to that one. But and then for a try scorer, even though they weren't that crash hot last couple of weeks, Brent Naden's been decent. $2.50, a good one to juice up the same gamer, but I'm not feeling overly confident. I hope I'm wrong because they were actually, they were pretty good against the Broncos, but last week just was back to the old stuff again. I was flat. I thought we should have won that game, but anyway. Yeah,
well, Sharkies, like you said, have beaten them since 2019. 8 from their last 9 against the Tigers, and 3 of their last 4 have been by 13 plus. Connor Tracy, he's out for the Sharkies. Love seeing Cade Dykes take the field last week, and then his family, embracing his family after that. Even as a Dragons fan who grew up hating the Sharks, I love to see that. Lockie Miller on the wing, very speedy fella. Sione Katoa, he had doubles in his last two against the Tigers, but he's out, and Lockie Miller is in that spot. I think he scored he scored a try on his debut this year. So $1.72 to do it again. I think $4 to $4.40 for a double is pretty good. $4.40 for a double. I think I started there.
Funky Miller.
Yes, I do like that. And Sharks 13 plus. I think they take this one pretty easy. No real justification here, but I like Nicholas Hines at 360. Tigers against the Broncos and Cowboys let in tries to halves, and Nico got one last week. When you're hot, you're hot. And I think he goes again here. So I'll jump on him at 360. Sharkies 13 plus. I like Miller getting one, possibly two. That's my place.
So you really reckon they're going to lay the boots into Tigers?
I think so. Yeah, my bad.
Well, I hope you're wrong, mate. But see how we go.
Heading into the conclusion of Super Saturday sees another match that could be a little bit one-sided with the Broncos at home up against last start winners, the Knights. Broncos massive 17.5 favourites here with the overs 44.5. Well, what are you going to say?
Well, I've just got a little something for you here. Broncos lost to Tigers. Tigers lost to Knights. Therefore, Knights beat Broncos, don't they? Logic would suggest.
That's what is it? There's like a circle of parity or whatever. That means,
Yeah. So, but I mean, those things don't always work out. And I feel like the Broncos probably bounce back here, to be honest. It's back at Suncorp. They've won their last four actually at Suncorp against Newcastle by 13 plus.
There you go.
So do you look at the Broncos 13 plus? The line's big, 17.5. Maybe that's a bit too big. 13 plus I can live with. 17.5 is just that extra little something. But I think the Broncos bounce back despite the circle of parity before. I was looking at a try scorer though from the Knights. Suncorp Gagai. This is his origin home.
Yep.
$4.10. I'm not basing it off a hell of a lot apart from the fact that he gets up when he plays origin. A lot of that's at Suncorp. He's had some great games there.
Yep.
It's a big price for a guy who can find the line. And I just thought maybe he could be a try scorer to whack in there from the other team that could seriously sex up that same gamer for you.
I don't mind it. I'm with you. I think Broncos 13 plus. Broncos have been 13 plus, like we said, in the last two starts against the Knights. They did lose the previous four, but I don't think that really plays here. Oates is looking to make it 4 games in a row with tries here. Cobbo also with 3 tries in 2 games against the Knights. Remembering that Jacob Carraz scored a hat-trick down that right edge 2 weeks ago, and Swali a double the week before against the Knights.
Yeah, so good.
I really like the back rowers for the Broncos as well, but I can't decide. Ricky's 370 and Kate Ball's 380. I just have a feeling that one of them gets over. So, yeah, I think I'm going to play.
Why not both? Porkelos nos dos.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's too risky, but I'll go Cobbo 2 plus. It's short. It's only 330, but I think I'll take that. If I'm going to pick someone, I'll pick Jordan Ricky just for the sake of it. I think he gets over 370. So.
Yep.
That's my plays here. Mate, the coachless Raiders come up against the Dragons in the first of the Sunday Saviours games. Again, hopefully our tips have got you plenty of winners so far in the week, but if not, these are the games that we get it back, hopefully. Raiders minus 5.5 favourites here. I think that's way too low for me with the overs 43.5. Dragons last start winners against the Raiders just 5 rounds ago. Can they back it up and go again here? Handsome one?
I think they can, Roasty. Whoever loses this is basically done for the year, aren't they?
Yep.
The Raiders, they were pretty disappointing last week. I thought they were going to be a bit better than they were. Dragons lost 4 of their last 5, as I think you mentioned. I think the Raiders can win this one. Maybe in a tight one. It's supposed to be very wet up there in the capital, I think, over the weekend as well. The Raiders' last 4 games have gone the unders, which is 43.5 points. I reckon be happy to kind of take that. And as it's wet, a bit of a splash show, if you will. Excuse me. Josh Papali'i scored one last week. He might have even scored the first try, I think, of the game last week. $7.25 to get one at any stage. So, I don't know. I've just got visions of him crashing and bashing over there at a big price as well.
You get a vision. You got to go with it.
Exactly.
I don't think the Dragons are completely out of it here. They held in against the Sharks last week. Even when Sims was off with for 10 minutes during the game, they managed to keep the Sharks out, scored a try themselves during that 10 minutes. Like I said, not completely out of it. They do have a slight mathematical chance of making the 8, which means if they lose this one, which means they'll probably lose this one and then go on to win the next 3 just to finish 9th and give me some pain. Raiders minus 5.5 for me here. Xavier Savage, 245, scored against the Dragons last start. Don't mind that. And I'm going to steal your running halves theorem here, mate. I know it could be wet, but I think we could see both halves run a bit here. Like Whiten, he's short at 260, but another player like is Ben Hunt. He scored 5 from his last 8 this year, a double a few weeks ago against Manly, 1 against the Roosters the week before that. If I add them together, I get 925, and I think that's worth a little Stewie diver for me to watch and enjoy the game. Hopefully, I might have that separate. I won't add in the result. I just want to watch 2 players score tries and then worry about the game. But that's for me. I think I'm going against my Dragons. I don't think they get the job done. I think the Raiders minus 5.5 in that one.
I like your thinking there, Roasty. Very well constructed multi, that one. Well played.
Rounding out the weekend, Titans up at home against the Manly Sea Eagles, who put up a decent effort last week, only to let it go late. Manly minus 6.5 with the overs 47.5. Manly have won the last 3, 13+ on the Gold Coast. They've won 4 from the last 5. The Titans held it in with the Storm last week with 4 tries to 3 for 60 minutes it was, so it was pretty close, that game. They completed fairly well. Plenty of missed tackles, only 9 errors. Manly let in 4 second-half tries to the Eels in the last 25 minutes. That worries me. They scored first in that second half but couldn't carry that momentum. Tell me, Hammy, are you sensing what I'm sensing here in a bit of an upset?
No, I'm not. Okay. Titans stink. Manly win this. They cover the 6.5. I'm not sensing an upset. I'm sorry, Roasty. I need the Titans to keep losing so they win the spoon and the Tigers don't get it as well. So going with that. Now, Munster scored 3 at fullback last week. Ruben Garrick. I'm looking at anything Ruben Garrick here at fullback. First try score, $11.50. Anytime, $1.95, or maybe 2 or more for Ruben Garrick at $6.25. But I think the Seagulls carve him up, and I think he gets over the line at least once. So,
mate, I'm going to go against you. I'm going to take the upset here just to end the week. I'm taking $2.75. I think the Titans have it in them. Dave Fafita, he's been 3 from his last 4 against Manly. $3.10 here. Keep it on that.
Yep.
And guess who else I'm getting on? My boy Bo.
Don't mind Bo.
5 of Para's 7 tries last week were scored down that Manly right edge. Bo's down there, $4.70 as well. Sorry, right, down their right side. So, Bo all day for me, $4.70 as well to score there. So
nice price.
Yeah, $2.75. I'm taking that head to head, and Bo $4.70. Mate, let's wrap it up real quick with the KFC Zinger multi. What do you got? Hit me.
I was 2 from 4 last week, bit disappointing, but that's okay. We go again.
We do.
As I advertised earlier, I'm going 2 wingers in the same game. Johnston and Sevo. They're going in.
Dangerous.
Nah, they're going in. They're going in the Zinger Box multi. Brent Naden is going in against the Sharks at $2.50. And then Angus Crichton at $4.20. So that all up will get you about $29.90. Gamble responsibly.
A Zinger costs less than that. You know that. We try and get the price of around a Zinger, but you're going 2 Zinger boxes.
This is a big one.
Big one. I like
Double.
it. I like
Enjoy
it.
using
really
it.
Like it.
Yeah.
Mine is, I'm going Fox. I think he scores. Cobbo, both short. Saab, short again. And my boy Bo, throwing him in. It's 14.43 for me.
That's nicely constructed. I actually don't mind that one at all.
Yep, I like that. I'm leaving 2 late try scorers, taking some early favourites and 2 late ones, just so I can ride it all weekend. So
lovely. Well played,
Roasty.
Roasty.
Wrap it up there. That's the show. Hemmy's got a roll. Enjoy your week,
I do.
mate.
Duck and roll. I will, mate. You enjoy yours as well. Some great tips there. I actually really like the look of your Zinger box. I might have a little Stewie diver on that as well, mate. But good luck across the weekend, everybody. Gamble responsibly. And we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, mate. And thanks, punters. Talk again next week. Cheers.